Well, it's time to face our opportunity to get the biggest piece of club domestic silverware we would have had in this save. We have not won a trophy at club level since we were in the National League with Bromley, and now we're in an FA Cup final. Of course, we've had success with England since then, but this is absolutely huge. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 126 of this head coach story with me, Daniel. We are back with Manchester United for a proper grand finale to the season. We've got 2 games remaining and the first of them is a big chance at silverware. Manchester United face rivals Liverpool in the FA Cup final. They were last season's Premier League champions, Champions League finalists to give you an example of how good they are. Whereas Manchester United are a resurgent under us and yet again have secured a top 4 finish. We also face Brentford at home on the final day of the Premier League season. They are relegated in bottom spot, and if we win it, we could yet surpass Liverpool and nick 3rd place in the league. So if you're looking forward to seeing how the progression continues and whether we can finally win a domestic trophy for the first time since Bromley, then please do put a thumbs up on it. There is some other good news as well, and we'll have the season review at the end. But let's start by having a look at something that's excited me, because you may notice from the graphic to the right of the screen, partly due to the sale of De Bruyne and partly due to the fact we've been in the Champions League, despite paying £4 million in loans per month, Manchester United are in a much better position financially than they have been in previous years. What that means is when it comes to transfer budgets, we've been given a big boost. Instead of the measly £7 or £8 million we were given last year, this time we've got 55. So basically, we have been given the De Bruyne money to spend. Hopefully, John Murtough will do so. There's about £250,000 a week on the wage budget, which, based on our squad, probably 2 first-team players. So I'm hoping that he'll stop adding central midfielders and maybe give us a real opportunity next year. If not, we'll probably have to change to the diamond. For now, though, let's have a quick look at the schedule for what's happened since you were last here. We had that thriller against Bournemouth in the FA Cup as we snuck through to the final. And to be honest, since then, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. We got absolutely hammered in the Manchester derby. We had a couple of other disappointing days on the road, but at home, we have got back to form, which is the most important thing. We started with a disappointing 1-1 draw at Forest, Antonio Carlos with a late equaliser. A 3-0 win at home to Spurs thanks to an own goal, Develay and Demeter. North got a 94th minute equaliser away at Chelsea. We dominated this game. One of the best away performances of the season. And we almost went away without a point. Can't be said against Manchester City where we were embarrassing. They played in the Champions League just 2 days before. And they beat us 5-0. We didn't even put up a fight. But we did bounce back with a 3-0 against Leeds. Wilmer Contreras with a header. And Joseph Taylor with a brace. He always scores goals. Which leads us into this one with a little bit more momentum than we could have had. We are probably underdogs against Liverpool. We mentioned at the start they've been winning big competitions recently. And what a time for an injury crisis. In a week's training in the build-up, pulled calf muscles for both Isaac Simmons and Marco Demeter. Demeter we don't really have a backup for. And Simmons, well, his replacement is Garcia, who cost us one of the goals against Bournemouth when he came on in the semi-final. So not all particularly good at the moment, but there is some good news in there. And on a day like this, anything can happen. So with Liverpool the opponents in the FA Cup final, let's not beat around the bush. We're going straight to Wembley. It is a massive tie. It is a massive opportunity. And we have got a chance to win a big domestic trophy. I love the FA Cup. You know that very well if you're a regular. And I'd really like to make this count. So let's go and get through to a sold-out Wembley. Loads of our former England players are in this squad. You've got Cloudsdale and Tesgel in the front 3, Devines in midfield, Anderson in the holding role, Rio Williams at left back. It is a quality Liverpool side. Soboslai's still there. They've got some great youngsters as well. I mean, it's a team that is going to be very hard to beat. But let's go and get our first 11 picked after a rotated side played against Leeds. We'll be back in a moment to go through the 11 and head to Wembley for kick-off. Well, here is our squad for today's game, and it does leave me with a few concerns if I'm being honest. We've taken a gamble on the right-hand side by going for an inverted winger of Taylor, rather than the experienced Vanderson or young Hunter, who are both more defensive-minded players. To combat that, we've gone for Carlos in midfield and Ocon up front, rather than chucking North through the middle and Ocon in midfield. But we have got North then as a super sub, which is part of my thinking too. Humphreys is playing at right back despite Solis being suggested by the assistant. John Murtow might want to look at that and sack him. But the rest of the 11, with what's available, you could probably pick. We've got Robles in goal, Humphreys and Garcia in at fullback. He's of course replacing the injured Simmons. Hervenhoff and Develay in at centre-half. Hodgkinson is back in central midfield alongside Carlos. And then we've got Taylor in for the injured Demeter on the right. Base out and Guido behind Ocon up front. And we've got our top scorer on the bench. Our second top scorer out injured. This is a pretty bold call for a team, I would say. But let's go and see if we can win the FA Cup. Hopefully, we can just have a good day. We have not performed in big games too often. We haven't performed away from our own home ground too often. But they've made 3 changes. They've got a very good squad. And this is our opportunity. Another one of our former England players, Harvey Elliott, still there on the bench. But let's go and get through the tunnel. It is the FA Cup final. It is a sold-out Wembley. It is a massive occasion. Fingers crossed there is a domestic trophy on the way. As Liverpool are here playing out from the back, we're trying to be positive and on the front foot. Whether it works, I don't know. Sobolai goes over the top and we might get done by an easy goal. Oh my word, no. Hervenhoff, what are you doing, man? Him and the keeper mixed up. It almost clears for an open goal. Tesgel turns, his shot is deflected. And we get away with it. But chaos at the back. And again, we just look all at sea. 10 minutes gone, Liverpool dominating. We might need to drop and counter this game because we are getting outclassed. As Hervenhoff heads away to Tesgel. Guido nicks it. This is what we're good at. Oh, Basel's offside. It doesn't matter now. Even if he goes through, he's off. He cuts back and he goes to Garcia. The flag hasn't gone up, which is odd. And Garcia has still got the ball. I'm a little bit surprised by that because he was definitely offside. Through ball to Guido. He's in 1-on-1. Oh, we've scored. The goal is going to count. It was offside from the very first ball, but this is about 10 phases of play later. A wonderful goal. Guido puts it in. And now we are going to drop to balanced. Hit them on the counter-attack, which is what we do best. And hopefully we'll be able to stay in front because this would be a seismic achievement. Just to take United back to the top table. The Europa Conference is the only thing they've won in about 7 or 8 years. We've got them back in the Champions League and the top 4 2 years in a row. A win in this game is probably the only thing that stops me job hunting as well. As Basel gets in. Back to Guido. The big game players are turning up. 2 of the only world-class attacking players fit. We're missing Demeter. North's on the bench. We're having other troubles. But still, we are delivering on the big stage. And maybe, just maybe, there is life in this Manchester United team yet. A big transfer budget. Lots of players doing well. And a trophy in the cabinet. This could be a catalyst for the turning point. At half-time, it is 2-0 to United. Or is it? Because Rio Williams has a free kick. It's comfortably wide of the post. The United fans are getting excited. Could it finally be their day? Through the dressing room we go. We are thrilled with that. It's a good first half. You've earned the lead. And now you've got to keep it. That's the hardest bit. And we're back just 3 minutes into the second half as Martinez has got the ball in goal for Liverpool. They're intent on playing out from the back still. And they managed to do so this time. No, Garcia's nicked it high from Cloudesdale. Great pressure. And we release Basel, who's in 1-on-1. It's turning into one of the best days. Guido sets up Basel after Basel sets up Guido. I mean, it's a 2-man show and I do not care. What a performance from those 2 boys. They are delivering when it really matters. And to be fair, Basel has been in great form second half of the year. To be fair as well, as we let in one, it's that Georgian sub. He has scored against me nearly every time he's played me for any team. He is such a good player. But it's 3-1 with just under an hour gone. Please don't let us throw it away from here. As Martinez clears downfield. Big ball over. Develay's missed the header. What are you doing? Do not creep in stupid defensive mistakes now. Tesgel thankfully makes nothing of it. But that is so poor. We don't miss headers like that, and under pressure we shouldn't be either. As Guido takes the corner kick, front post it's headed away. No idea why he's ignoring the instruction. Hodgkinson to Taylor, who struggled on the right. Hervenhoff back to Hodgkinson. Big switch towards Ocon, who's not been great up front. And it's out to Develay on the left. He cuts in with a ball. Skills from the centre half. Back to Hodgkinson. Chips into Taylor. Oh, he's in form now, all right. Did I say he was struggling? I'm very sorry, Joseph. You've had an awful game. You've not contributed at all. But Hodgkinson returning to fitness, that's what we've missed in the playmaker role. And Joseph Taylor, he scores big goals. And for all of the season, when everyone else has gone into being a shrinking violet, he is the man who's turned up and put absolute screamers in. I'm talking nonsense because I'm just thrilled at the minute. Now this time, can we avoid conceding straight away? Garcia's let the ball through. Tezgel hits the post. And it's offside anyway. We get away with it. And with 20 minutes to go, Ocon will come off. He's struggling up front. Joel North, the super sub, is on. It will today surely be a final day at the club for Vanderson, so I think we will try and get him on if we're comfortable near the end. But I'd also like to get the two youngsters on. I'd also like to enjoy this game because Taylor's had a poor game despite a brilliant goal. He'll be replaced by young Adam Hunter. What a moment for him for the future. We've got Hervenhoff on a yellow. He's off for Contreras. No risk being taken. We'll take off Humphreys for Vanderson at right back. And we've got one more, which will save a few more minutes. I want to give Guido a chance at a hat-trick. He's been the star of the show. But this has been an absolute dream day. Now do not throw it away. Rio Williams on the left. Hunter can't win the challenge. Garcia beats Tezgel in the air, but it's only out to the fullback. Javier gets it inside to Elliott. Another one of the subs releasing that Georgian player again. And he scored another one. Oh, if I could never face that man in FM again, we'd win an awful lot more. Because it happens every time. 4 minutes of stoppages added on. He is not going to stop us winning the trophy, though. Off goes Carlos. On comes Kakada or Lindozo. We're going to go Lindozo. Straight swap for ability and for position. And we are going to win the FA Cup. For the first time since managing Bromley, there will be a domestic trophy in my cabinet. And of course, we won the Euros with England, but still, this is a massive moment. From where we took over the club after a 14th place finish, no Europe, no top 4 finish for 6 or 7 years, no domestic trophy wins recently, and we have got United in a great shape. Referee, how is that not a penalty? I know we've won the game and it's the last minute, but show a little bit of class and professionalism. It should have been a penalty, it should have been 5, but let's not worry about that now. Manchester United are walking up to lift the FA Cup at Wembley, and this is the thing that is probably going to keep me here, because with a transfer budget, with a big trophy in the cabinet, this is a real chance to push on. A season of so many disappointments ends with a bit of glory as Manchester United win the FA Cup. And now, despite all the trials and tribulations this year, despite that Sociedad game I'll never forget, I am now a very happy man again. Well done, Manchester United. A very good display. Now, can we make it a double whammy for Liverpool by overtaking them on a final day of the league season? Well, we're back, thankfully, for a pretty relaxed final day of the season. With the top 4 wrapped up and a trophy in the cabinet, we are moving on to the next level. I did want to show you quickly just how much of a barren spell this had been. Of course, we've talked about the years of poor finishes, just one top 4 finish in the last however many years, prior to us coming in, of course. If we have a look at the trophies being won, that was the first FA Cup in 9 years and just the second in this save. They've not won the Premier League since Fergie in 2013. They've not won or been in a Champions League final. They've also not won a League Cup. 2017 was their last one under Jose. They've not won a Champions League. They've not won a Europa League. Just one final in that. And the only thing they've won since 2029 and the FA Cup was the Europa Conference in 2035. 2 trophies in 15 years of this save. And let's be pretty fair at this point. It is not a good effort from United. So we are trying to build them back to the top. And that will be a very big part of it. Let's go and get through to the fixtures. I'm going to mix things up a little here. We still want to win the game. We want to try and get above Liverpool if they slip up against Bournemouth. Another 3rd place finish would be great. But I'm not as worried. And we've got to look to the future. We're not going to be getting massive transfer budgets, albeit it's a lot better this year. So if we want to build the team on and off the pitch, we've got to look at players for the future. So let's get a couple in our 11 alongside the first team. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. So a quick news update before we go through the team. There is no point risking Simmons or Demeter in a game like this, so they're going to sit it out. We've gone for a couple of younger players. Contreras in at centre half. Hunter is on the right wing with Taylor moving up front. So our 11 in full is not that changed. It's just those 3 I've mentioned. Henry Ocon drops into centre midfield. Let's go and submit the team for our final game against relegated Brentford. We should be winning this one comfortably, but will Liverpool slip up and allow us 3rd? Well, no real familiar names in this Brentford team, bar Inaki Montero, who I think we had on loan at Palace one year, didn't we? He's a decent keeper, but the rest of it we don't recognise. So let's just go and get into the first half. I should say I know we've had a bit of a debate in the comments this year, talking about whether we should stay or go from United. I think with that FA Cup win and the bigger transfer budget, I might give it one more year. Now that's not to say if we get a big job offer, a realistic one from an elite club in Europe, that I won't take it in the summer, as Contreras gets himself another goal. He loves himself a header at the back post. That's 3 he's got already for the club. And having a bit of height in this team and a bit of aerial prowess is not a bad thing. He's a young star for the future who looks a gem. We've got a few coming back from loan who are great as well. So I do like the idea, and I'm enjoying the challenge, as much as I don't seem it at times, of rebuilding a former great club back from mid-table to its former glories. And getting that trophy, I feel, is a big step. So unless John really annoys me in the summer, and we get a big offer from another club, I think we will stick it out for another year. As Garcia gets the ball out from the back, plays out to Hodgkinson. With the early goal now, this should be a comfortable win. As Baysal gets it on the left. Him and Guido, big plaudits for winning us that cup final. And right on cue, Guido gives it away. Stop praising people. This is why I'm so grumpy half the time. You praise people, they start playing awfully. It is definitely an FM superstition I'm developing this year. It's a corner kick which Stubbard will take, and hopefully it will be headed away. We've got a few big men in the box today. Robles comes and claims it. Good goalkeeping to keep it 1-0. Not the best start in the world though. As we're back with a Montero free kick for Bournemouth. Cleared away down the right hand side of ours. Humphreys heads clear, but Brentford looking alright in this game. And I guess a final Premier League swan song with no pressure. Maybe they're the team that are going to have a bit of a licence in this one. We are still technically playing for third, but again, we've done our main job. We've got in the Champions League again, despite the extra fixtures and injuries and star players being sold. As Joyce gets down the right here, finds Roberto in the Suarez. I'm a bit concerned at how many times they've carved us open in 15 minutes. It's 1-1. I mean, I'm going to berate them because they've been shoddy so far. It's mainly been Develay and Humphreys on that right side of the fence. As Ocon wins it for Guido. We have still got men in support. Hunter on the right. Can he beat his man and get a crossing? No. Goes back to Humphreys. Inside to Develay and Hodgkinson. Chips over to Adam Hunter. Across the box to Guido. And Guido is doing it again. He has been an absolute superstar this episode. He's definitely the star of the show. And we're back ahead. Not that we really deserve it. Oh, Brentford are straight on the front foot. Oh, the final game of the season is often bonkers, isn't it? Are we going to get like the 5-5, the West Brom United game? As Hodgkinson goes long. Cleared away on halfway. It's very direct, this one as well. As Develay nods down for Ocon. Big boot over the top, which Taylor will chase. Blancas gets there first. He clears it downfield. It's another hoof. Roberto loses it to Ocon. He goes back to Develay. What a strange game it's been. Hodgkinson goes left to base out. He's got space to run into. Through ball is intercepted. It's back to the Brentford keeper. This is a very long highlight with not much happening so far. As Hodgkinson gets it wide to Hunter on the right. He can take on his fullback, which he does. 3 in the middle, but he loses possession. Wins it back, though, to be fair. And puts it in to Emir Baysal. And all of that nonsense we watched for a minute and a half. Just to see a 2-yard tap in. Hunter, he's not the best player in the world, but he does that traditional winger bit quite well. And Baysal, just like the cup final, is playing like a star again. As Guido's got a corner kick, half an hour gone. Into the front post, is headed away. Vandenberg brings it clear, and again, bit too much space to run into. Hunter does really well to get back at him though, and he finds Humphreys, the fullback. Into Ocon and Hodgkinson. One more goal and we can start to relax a bit then. As Contreras to Garcia and Baysal. Chip over the top to Guido. He's in for a brace again. Oh, it's a delightful dink. Just off the top of the crossbar. A lovely work. And now we're starting to dominate. As it's a Brentford goal kick over the top. Going to be another long episode. We're getting thrillers galore in this save at the moment. As Guido gives it to Baysal. On the left-hand side. Cuts it back to Garcia. Hodgkinson over the top. The run is coming from Taylor. So often scores, but not this time. Just wide of the post. Very rarely actually gets to play up front in this team, so maybe he's not used to it, ironically, despite being his natural position. Robles holds the free kick. We got 2 minutes to the break. Can we get ourselves one more goal? Humphreys gets the ball out to Hunter. He's got space to run into on the right. Instead he plays short again, taking the safe option, but he should get it back. No, we go back to Develay. We're taking our time. Ocon goes wide to Hunter. A space to run into. Ocon is supporting again. We're just playing it short. We're keeping the ball quite well. I like it to lead to something though. As Ocon finds Baysal, this might be the bit. Oh, that's class. Henry Ocon with a great through ball. Emir Baysal, great touch and finish. 4-1 United, dominance ensuing. And after a dodgy first 15, we are well and truly in our stride now. Not many young players we can bring off the bench, but we are going to make a couple of changes. What a 45 minutes that was. We're going to bring Kieran Jones on at left back for Garcia. He is a bit younger, so a chance to get him 45. I'm also going to bring on possibly Carlos, but who for? Nah, we'll leave it at that for now. We're going straight from the kickoff again with Taylor. We are not getting respite in this game. How many will we score? Will we concede again as Hodgkinson chips over? Poor ball cleared away. Out to Joyce on the right-hand side for Brentford. You can see defensively why they're getting relegated, can't you? As a sore note goes back to Blancas. Big ball over the top. Suarez loses out to Develate. Joyce gets it down for a Sorno though. Big ball over the top again. Vandenberg in on the left. Humphreys beaten to it. And it's 4-2. What a start to the half that is. The lads have come out asleep. And Humphreys, for the second time today, has been done in behind. Maybe Vanderson is going to get his farewell earlier than he thought. As they've got a throw in down this side again. They are really causing us trouble. Vandenberg against Humphreys. He's got it inside to Bozovic. He's got the chance to cross. Ocon nicks it though. Helping out on the right hand side and releases Guido. Time for one of these famous counter-attacks. Guido down the right. Support in the middle from Taylor. Baysal's to his left. It's a great pass. Baysal scores. And I'm going to make another sub. Humphreys will be replaced by Vanderson. No contract this time. He is out of date in June. Surely he's going to be going this time. Emir Baysal completes his hat-trick though. And it's turning into a lovely day. A thrilling experience for the fans in attendance. And another long episode because of quality football. As Vanderson finds Hodgkinson and Ocon. Up to Baysal. There's a red card. Awful tackle from Steinmartz. No need to go in two-footed there. And if it wasn't easy before, it's definitely going to be now. It's a long ball forward, which Contreras heads away. Guido can't get there. Joyce goes back to his centre-half. All the way to the goalkeeper for Brentford. They're going to slow it down now, surely. Big punt over the top. There's no one there. Not sure what the referee's doing as it works wide to Baysal. Into Kieran Jones and Baysal again. He has support through the middle. Long ball to Guido. Cracking header. And it's 6-2. We're going to make more changes here. I'm going to go Taylor out to the left. Baysal can have a rest. He's going to be replaced by Joel North, who deserves his run. We're also going to bring off, I think, Guido for a break. Kakada will replace him. And then Lindozo will come on for Ocon or Hodgkinson. We'll go for Henry Ocon. Give the Stars a rest. It might be their last appearances. It is 6-2 with half an hour to go. We're bringing the 2 January signings on and Joel North, who at the moment is getting close to a new contract. It's being negotiated by John Murtow. As here's Joyce on the right for Brentford. We shouldn't really be letting in goals against 10 now. As Duff chips it over the top. Into Stubberud. We might let in a goal. Robles makes the save. Can this game finally calm down? Because it has been a bonkers 60 minutes of football. Well, into stoppage time, just 3 minutes of it, and the subs have taken the sting out of the game. No third place as Liverpool beat Bournemouth comprehensively at home, but a good finish to the season, a 6-2 win for Manchester United. Let's go and review the end of season messages, celebrate our trophy, and have a look at what we want John to do for next season. Well, here's the season review with the FA Cup trophy at the bottom, and if you don't believe me when I say it's been a good season, we won Manager of the Year despite finishing 4th. That shows how big an achievement this is. Let's get through the new arrivals because it's been a frustrating transfer summer. And let's be fair, the signings that came in, the top one was already pre-agreed, as was the second one in Carlos. The January signings were all midfielders, and Garcia for 39 million was a waste of money and about 4th choice. The transfers out, we lost Abuen for 70 million to Madrid, who's a star. We lost Jimenez for 15. Klishin and Duffy, half of our back 4 from last year. And despite that, we have still had a very similar season and put a trophy in the cabinet. Some of the loans out are going to feature next year as well. Garmendia, Walker, Matthew Vella's developing well. Ricardo Ribeiro at Luton down here. They're all 2-star ability with big potential now. So a lot of them are going to feature a bit more. Let's go and get through the season results. A 4th place finish. The crowd are coming back to 100% every week, which is great. The Champions League, well, the less said the better. That night was a disaster. But the FA Cup was won. A 3-0 win against Spurs was the match to remember. A 7-0 win against PSG we saw on camera was the biggest win. Shame it followed a disaster at Everton. And goal of the season was a 4-0 against Chelsea, Henry Ocon scoring a screamer. 4.5-star reputation, we're keeping ourselves back at the top. We've got broadcast revenue to come in from the Champions League pool. And of course, we've got shirts being sold in their big numbers. Lindozo, the January signing in there. I find that a little surprising. Let's go and have a look at how we lined up though. Yep, I can't argue with much of that. They've gone for Taylor ahead of Baysal, which is a huge call. I'm not sure that's entirely justified. But the rest of it, I would have picked myself. So maybe just the one shock in there. The accolades, well, we got Manager of the Year. Says a lot when we finished in 4th. Henry Ocon breaks the assist record from playing in midfield for the most part. Emir Baysal's won Fans Player of the Season, and he wasn't in the Team of the Year. I don't understand it. I really don't understand. Joel North top scorer, assist record goes to Ocon, and everyone else contributing as well. Good to see. History in the making, a trophy in the cabinet, and what a day that was at Wembley Stadium. We are absolutely flying. What is the club vision for next season? They want to finish in... It doesn't say we've got a sell to buy anymore, does it? It says we've still got to sign players to sell for a profit, but it doesn't say that John has to sell before he can buy. So maybe he'll actually do some transfer work. We're expecting the latter stages of the Champions League, which is the last 8, because we did it last year in the last 16 and didn't meet the objective. Qualify for the Europa League is a top 6 finish, that's fine. But the most important thing is that we have got a trophy in the cabinet. So if you did enjoy this finish to the season, a thrilling FA Cup final and another top 4 finish, we are gradually getting United back to the top, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments where you think John should have improved in the summer, because we all know he's just going to sign centre midfielders, so any talk is theoretical at this point. If you want to stay up to date and find out what he does, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out the exact answer and start a new season here at Old Trafford. And in the meantime, we've got a grand finale to the season to come in the Builder Nation tomorrow. There's all the links in the eye above to that save, to the Twitch channel, football podcast and blog posts as well. But thank you for watching as always. Your support is appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time for a new season, more John Murtow chaos.